just kind of key to the conversation I've been trying to manifest in my mind about the highest purpose. What are we doing here? What are we doing? The mission critical line that just came out of this book as an organizing way to structure software to perform certain tasks in like weapons and medicine and in hedge fund financing, making sure that the parameters are met, the boundaries are kept to achieve the greatest purpose, the highest purpose for a person, may be as simple as I had tested for by asking the question to my Facebook group, which isn't like a super technologically or professional testing method, but just surveying my group of contacts, what is your highest purpose? And a lot of the responses were pretty simple. At the end of the day, people are really concerned about themselves and the structure of our society, the food that we consume, the media that we consume teaches everybody to heal themselves before they heal anybody else, serve themselves before they attempt to serve anyone else. And highest purpose should be a big, gnarly, audacious goal. That's the way I see it. My highest purpose is increasing the water quality of the Great Lakes by 10%. Number 2 is making water and energy sustainably accessible at any part on our planet. And number 3 is the sustainability of recreational boating in the metaverse, ensuring that people that visit the metaverse can experience recreational boating, monitoring and maintenance, and opportunity, like actually purchase, and the after sales that take place in the metaverse are transferred back to the water, right? People come back to living life in the elements, being able to find boating in the metaverse and being able to experience boating in the real world. I've been reading quite a few books, and there's a couple series that I've been watching, and I'm going to see if I can recall them in this little reflection that's happening here, and see how it has compounded this idea of highest purpose. Like there's this one show called something Sun. Anyways, it was about these Chinese boys, right? One was taken to America and one stayed in Taipei with the father, who came big boss, the dragon head. And the highest purpose for the son that lived in America was to just do what his mama told him, get an education. And culturally it was comical but still pretty accurate. His Asian parents are always pushing education, right? But the son in Taipei was developed to be an assassin, to protect the father, to participate in the triad sort of community lifestyle. And he was a badass, but when the father got shot, he had to go to America and find his brother, and protecting the family was the highest purpose. Protecting the family was the highest purpose. There was all kinds of guidelines and structures and boundaries that were set culturally to ensure that the honor system was attended to, and there were violent consequences if you operated outside of those things. And that was a great example of a highest purpose being put into a story. Another one was the Gilded Age. How that show came to me, I'm not sure. I was looking into something about the 1920s, the railways, just interested in infrastructure, and I came about this show called The Gilded Age, set in the early 1900s in New York, and to see the way society interacted at the time, where the main antagonist was the wife of a railroad baron, and he was ruthless in his capitalist quest, where she was ruthless in her societal quest, like gaining position in society and ensuring that their children were coupled, married off to someone of some note in society. They had money, they had family history, and to see that highest purpose being protecting the family in a completely different culture, in a completely different timeline. It came back to my own experience and thinking about my own family, and I see my family as the people that depend on water. I got a mom, I got a brother, love them dearly, right? They're doing their own thing, do your own thing, and we found our way, and coming back together has always been difficult. It's been challenging. Just yesterday was the 14th year anniversary of my mom coming out of her heart transplant surgery, and super grateful that mom is alive 14 years later, after living for time with a mechanical heart, a complete heart failure, and she had her heart transplant 14 years ago successfully yesterday. And yesterday I also received a call from her that one of her best friends that was renting a room from her had dropped dead. And she had to hang out with the body while the police and the coroner came through, but there's another aftercare service that comes to actually pick up the body. So she's alone with the dead body of her friend for a couple hours, and on the phone with me, and I'm like, okay, I gotta stay on the phone for this conversation. This is a new place for my brain, but it was an automatic resolve to take care of the family. Like, I gotta be there for my mom, even though we don't even talk that often. I work on the water. I'm on my way to take care of some boats right now, and I have my younger brother who's a sign language interpreter, super great entrepreneur, and I don't hang often, but somebody asked me, how's your brother? I'm like, I don't know, he's doing his thing. I think he's going off to South America or something shortly, but it was offered back to me that I got to spend more time with him. It's another one of my surrogate moms, Lynn. I was calling her about plants. I just moved around my place, and some of my plants didn't look super happy. I know she's got super green thumb and ready to expound wisdom at all times. And yeah, super grateful for her even asking about my brother and letting me know that it's important to pay attention to family. And it seems the highest purpose should always be protecting your family, protecting your legacy, protecting not just yourself, but your family, your community, what you care about more than anything. Should be your highest purpose, and considering it on a regular basis, checking in with it. Like, my highest purpose, it shifts from, my 20-year vision is solid, right? And this reminds me of a talk I had about sublimation. My highest purpose is solid, and it remains there as an audacious goal. And the shorter term, 10 years, that's a short term in my perspective, is to, in 20 years from now, I want to have 10 Spikes Marine stations and communities of people actually testing and understanding how to interact with the water. In the more short term, in the immediate term, health and home and finances and ensuring I can keep moving forward, having enough traction, having the right vehicle to meet my audacious goals is the highest purpose in a day or in a morning or in an hour or in a minute, to go and exercise, to eat properly, to check the bank and make sure money's moving properly, but that highest purpose should all be connected. It should all lead to your biggest goal, your highest purpose, your why for this life and this legacy. And what are you actually leaving behind? Treasures of your existence, being your books, your journals, and your pictures. I had a talk with my godson last week, reconnecting with my goddaughter, his daughter, his youngest daughter, who I love dearly. I haven't seen for years, but always keep her in consideration and let him know to not ask for much from her, but to create enough for her to understand her father's legacy. And I said, read books, share those books, do a short journal on those books, take a selfie with that book, pack it in a box, mail it off to her, and keep that going. So you're developing your own knowledge, you're developing your own legacy, and you're developing these treasures while reestablishing that relationship, which is your legacy. That child is your legacy. And I just think the highest purpose that we have is absolutely family. And I hope one day to create my own, but in the meantime, I am trying my best to find ways to support my family, figure out their highest purpose, and see if what I'm doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis is giving them energy and giving them traction and giving them the ability to reach their highest purpose as we seek to protect each other, and our legacy and our name. Why not? Seems pretty consistent and persistent across the board as I've observed many different things, many different books, and many different cycles as the root of all. Family. So I wish you luck in identifying your highest purpose. Check in with your family, with your friends. Your family isn't always your blood. Sometimes they're your chosen family. Check in with them and make sure that your goals are aligned and you share the values that made you friends and family, and that you live those values and be consistent and be confident that taking care of family, protecting your legacy is a very, very high purpose. Congratulations for getting to the end of the video. Like and share if you care. See you on the water, right?